Hey, it's 7 Grains of Salt. Well, they're trying to disconnect us from God. Plain truth, I suggest watching the entire video, but I'm going to give you a clip. Let's watch.
Rudolf Steiner, the Austrian mystic that was very active in the early part of the last century, the founder of Waldorf schools and biodynamic farming and a completely new kind of alternative medicine. He predicted, that towards the end of last century and the beginning of this century, there will be a movement driven by big corporations to take the soul away from people, to disconnect people from the higher world. And in order to do that, we have to destroy the pineal gland in people. And I followed the research on that, and amazingly what we found, the pineal gland is the most sensitive part of our central nervous system and is highly, highly, highly sensitive to 4 things: aluminum, glyphosate, fluoride, and Wi-Fi.
As you heard, I'm disconnecting people from God with aluminum, glyphosate, fluoride, and the Wi-Fi.
And we are the only country in the world that has pushed these 4 things in the last 60 years or so on everybody growing up here. And so what I feel, what I observe, and what we're also testing on our ART system is that people have severely calcified pineal glands. And I show the anatomy in some of my courses. It's very clear that the pineal gland is a receiver for higher fields of energy and translates them into thought and into actually controlling our immune system, our endocrine system, and so on and so forth. There's all science, but very few people pay attention to science anymore, especially since Donald Trump and his disregard for science. It's become the new norm, and so it is astounding that the telecommunications industry has selected the frequencies out of the huge spectrum of frequencies that are absolutely destructive to ourselves and especially to the pineal gland. They couldn't have made any better choices than 2.4 gigahertz. That the end point, that when you have inhale aluminum, as we do from the geoengineering program, and have glyphosate in the food chain, that glyphosate and aluminum combine in the blood and in the gut and in the bloodstream to form 6 different chemical compounds where aluminum and glyphosate are hooked up together, and the end point of that compound is the pineal gland. Published, it's not my idea. And what is needed for this compound to actually enter the brain is to open up the blood-brain barrier, and the current frequencies in the Wi-Fi world are exactly doing that. They open the blood-brain barrier, so toxins that used to stay in the bloodstream and in the body below the neck are now entering the brain very freely. That applies to all toxins, and so it's a new time in that way. When you think this through, you come to the conclusion that either there must have been an ultra intelligence group of scientists who have designed this protocol to fluoridate the drinking water, to put nanonized aluminum in the air, to put glyphosate in the food, and then activate it, spark it with the right frequencies. It took me 20 years to figure out the perfect storm that is created there. And it's either a coincidence, which is possible, that enough dumb people made the wrong choices, along the years. I'm still hoping that may be at least partially true, or it's orchestrated by a very, very intelligent group of destructive minds. Or what I also believe is very possible, that there's some higher fields of consciousness that can be both tuned into the light and to life affirmative action, and can be absolutely destructive, like phenomena like Adolf Hitler and others, people that come under the influence of something absolutely dark and destructive.
And many of us are aware of the Bohemian Grove, where they've been doing these sacrifices and rituals for years. And then most recently that it's become into the light, seeing Marina Abramovich and all her elite people gathering to do these rituals as well. Lady Gaga's there too. Many others. We've seen this. I don't need to go on. Let's continue.
And I do believe it's very possible that enough scientists and politicians have come under the influence of those higher fields and are acting according to it, actually not knowing on a human level why they're doing what they're doing and what they're doing. You know, that the a good example is 5G. To put it on posts, along the streets. Okay, that's one issue, but putting it on satellite and actually the government approving to put it on satellite, blasting the whole planet with a frequency that has never been checked for safety, for its influence on the insects, on the songbirds, has never been checked for anything, and to approve that is inconceivable to somebody who's still got a little bit of a brain left.
And now we're going to look at a short clip of Gaddy the Cat. And I suggest watching TM Films. He had a great rendition of what is going on as well. But here we go.
With your brain. Now, the nice thing about this technology is it's non-invasive, meaning they don't have to crack open your skull and put a chip inside.
The true way that this technology works is that a complete DNA profile is obtained from the target, from the individual, the targeted individual. And then this information, the DNA of the individual, is used to determine the resonant frequency of the DNA itself. The resonant frequency is then used to fine-tune the technology, the radio frequency signals, the microwave auditory effect, and all of the other aspects of the technology to tune it perfectly to the resonant frequency of the targeted individual's DNA. And they can read your thoughts verbatim as they occur within your own mind.
We can generate an electronic signal that's characteristic for the DNA. This can read DNA from solution, and your blood is a solution, it's a liquid. We can decode it into a form that can be read by a computer.
I would go on both of those videos, but I'd rather you go and watch it on their channel. So this is all about the hive mind, all controlled by one. They've been talking about this for years, and we know who is the prince of the air. We understand that. But we also know who the great I Am is, who was before all of this. And I suggest if you don't know Christ or haven't accepted him today, please do so quickly, because time is running out. They are trying to control all things. All right, I'll add all the links below. Stay blessed. Have a great week, and talk to you soon.